everyone! Ever have a favorite podcast that you just wish you could see come to life? My name's Lucky Planet, and that's exactly what I do. I turn podcasts like this
ยินดีต้อนรับทุกท่านเข้าสู่รายการ WiTcast
into fun animation like this.
มันมีหลายประเภทมากเลยนะ
Welcome to Lucky Planet, where we spark curiosity with bite-sized of knowledge. This is WiTcast, one of Thailand's earliest podcasts since 2012. These two hosts unravel the wonders of science every week. From biology to astronomy to physics, science can be fun. But imagine how much cooler it'd be as a cartoon, right? We began with character design. Designing the characters took a while. I sketched and sketched until I found just the right ones. Meet Professor Almond, our main host. He's from another planet, dedicated to unraveling the mysteries of our world as a science communicator. I started with our podcast host in mind. He's super energetic and fun science communicator. Think of Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye. So, Almond's got that smart vibe, but also feels super friendly and approachable, someone you'd feel comfortable hanging out with and learning from. His facial structure is defined by simple shapes, predominantly circles and squares, with the addition of distinctive rabbit ears to emphasize his non-human origin. With broad shoulders, Almond defies the stereotype of a typical scientist. Blue is his signature color, reflecting his cosmic origins. Next is Cookie, Almond's co-host. She has no background in science, but dreams of becoming a YouTuber. To pursue this ambition, she's teamed up with the professor. Cookie's design contrasts Almond's. Her color is red, and she wears huge pants to make her lower half look bigger compared to Almond's top-heavy frame. We're not sure if Cookie is human, since she has a big lucky clover on top of her head, a mystery for another day. The most important feature for both characters are their big, expressive eyes with large white areas. This allows them to clearly connect with the audience as they guide us through the amazing world of science. The face of the show. In these animations, you'll see the characters' faces for 3 whole minutes every episode. So, it's super important for their expressions to be interesting and relatable. To achieve this, I use this software called Cartoon Animator 5, and it's got this awesome feature called 360 Head. Basically, I broke down their faces into all the bits: eyes, nose, mouth. The 360 head feature is awesome for creating characters that can look any direction. But it takes some tweaking. Imagine building a puzzle. You gotta move each facial piece, eye, mouth, nose, one by one, until it looks just right from every angle, whether it's the front, left, right, or even up and down. This really takes time, lots of patience. Sometimes I work for days only to realize it's not quite right, and gotta delete it all and start fresh. Just take it slow, one tweak at a time. Remember, you might be using these characters for the next 6 months or even longer. Let's talk. To make their talking look natural, I made a bunch of different mouth shapes. You gotta have all the sounds covered, from those big O to those little Here's the cool part. After importing the audio, the software can do lip syncing for you automatically. But to be honest, it can look a little robotic sometimes. So I usually go back and edit it manually for over half of it. I might delete some parts, adjust others. It takes a bit of practice. Next, add a sprinkle on top. Cartoon Animator 5 has this awesome new feature called Spring Bones. Basically, it adds these dynamic movements to the characters' bones. So, when I move their heads, the rest follows naturally. Think of Professor Almond's ears, for example. Or Cookie's hair and leaf thingy on her head. Cartoon Animator 5 gives you a variety of spring types to choose from very bouncy for cartoon emotions to stiffer for more subtle movements. Since our characters don't exhibit exaggerated cartoon movements like those in Looney Tunes, I opt for stiffer springs to maintain audience focus on their facial expressions. Setting up Almond's ears was tricky since I used the 360 head feature, so the inner and outer ear parts move separately at certain angles. I had to add 2 distinct bone sets to control them. This rigging process really depends on each character's unique design. Once set up for one, the bones don't easily transfer to a different body type. Just look at how Almond's ear and mustache bones won't work for Cookie. It's always a good idea to save a backup of your character before adding spring bones. That way, you can easily go back if you're not happy with the results. Now, bring it to life. With the characters all set up, it's animation time. I create a basic storyboard to keep track of the timing and pacing. Since it's a talk show, it's pretty straightforward. First, I add a breathing animation as a base layer, and then animate the arms and body on top of that. But the most attention goes to the faces, because that's what connects with the audience. All in all, it takes about a week to animate a 3-minute episode and another week to add the science illustrations. But the real time sink, believe it or not, it's all the stuff before. Even with a podcast story as a starting point, it can take 2 whole weeks to get things ready. I gotta lock down the storyboard, squeeze an hour-long episode into 3 minutes, and double-check all that science info to make sure it's updated. Sometimes, the script needs a little extra love, and I need to add some new voice recordings. That's why I think pre-production is way more important than the animation itself, and it's totally worth it. If you're curious, the first season of 25 episodes is already out in Thai. This project was initially kickstarted by the Thai Government Media Fund. They're all about supporting awesome content for all ages, and that's exactly what we're doing here. I'm hoping to translate the whole season into English soon, but we need some more funding to do that, so stay tuned. Speaking of funding, if you're interested in sponsoring, partnering up, or even have a podcast you want to turn into an animation, hit me up. The whole world is waiting for this. In the meantime, if you're ready for some fun science animation, check out the link in the description. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.